Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. I am back with an all new theme on my channel, and this is Action Adrenaline Month. Yes, we're going to be doing a lot of action and thrillers films, throughout the years. And we're starting with a rant, unfortunately. This is a 2018 American, and I use that term loosely, action thriller film directed by Peter Berg, written by Leah Carpenter, and starring Mark Wahlberg, the guy from The Raid, and a couple of other people that are not really important right now. Mile 22. Yeah, if you've seen this movie, I feel sorry for you because if you haven't, stay away. Don't even bother watching this movie. I saw it on Netflix and it's boring. It's not that long. I thought it was going to be like 2.5 hours. No, it's only 94 minutes. So the running time is not the problem here. The problem is we've seen this kind of movie done already many times with both Mark Wahlberg and other actors that have worked with Peter Berg. It's the fourth movie collaboration between Berg and Wahlberg because he did Lone Survivor, which is more of a war drama, Deepwater Horizon, an action thriller, and Patriots Day, which I have not seen. But this is easily his worst with him because it's generic. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And the critical consensus was, yeah, it calls it a thrill deficient action thriller. Yeah, there's no adrenaline in this movie at all. I use that term loosely because even though it is an action film, but it's a very angry, generic, freaking, just by the numbers action movie. It's not very thrilling. Even the violence in the movie, because it's an R rating, it just it's blah. I've seen more action and more better violence in a freaking MCU show or movie that I've recently seen. It's just yeah. This is the plot. CIA SAC officer James Silva leads a deniable strike team codename Overwatch to infiltrate a Russian FSB safe house in the U.S. Under the supervision of James Bishop, Overwatch's mission is to locate and destroy shipments of cesium, whatever that is, before the highly toxic substance can be weaponized to kill thousands. The team kills the occupants while Overwatch member Alice Kerr is wounded. One of the Russians falls out of an explosion after falling to save the cesium. Silva executes the boy despite his pleading, and everyone escapes. Yeah, that's basically the film in a nutshell. It's very angry. It's very racist. It's just uncomfortable to watch. I don't know what people were thinking by seeing this in the theater. Also, it has an actress I don't give a shit about, guys. Guess who that is? Lauren Cohan. Yes, that Vince that was in freaking The Walking Dead, who I don't care about. I'm sorry. I don't care about your fake American accent. You can't act. Get out of here. Is she as bad as Rebecca? No. She's just very forgettable. I'm sorry. Rebecca just is the deer in the headlights the whole time. Iko Uwais is the only actor in this movie I care about. The guy from The Raid. He's very fast. He can actually fight. He doesn't need a gun to be badass. He fights with a bunch of shorts and he's like a super soldier. He's like really fast. But the thing is that the movie, the editing is horrible. Half of the time I can't see what's going on. They're like Berg is like shaking the camera like this, and I can't see what's going on. And he's editing not as bad as Olivia Megaton, but I could barely pick up what's going on. You have John Malkovich in a nothing role. He's just there to yell. Ronda Rousey, who's not an actress. If you've seen Expendables 3, you'll see why she can't act. And there's a bunch of other no-name people. Peter Berg makes a cameo as Lucas. And the film, I'm like, yeah, just if you've never seen it, it's a very generic movie. I didn't feel anything. Like even the R rating, everybody's cursing just because. People are angry just because. People are racist just because. There's a lot of violence, but I'm like, Extraction was a better movie than this because I cared about Chris Hemsworth and the kid, and I cared about the story. The violence was way more intense than this, but this movie was just awful. I don't know why they want to give it a sequel. Peter Berg announced plans for a sequel, which has likely been delayed due to COVID. Well, trust me, after what I witnessed on Netflix, I'm glad it got pushed. I don't want to see the sequel. Not every movie needs a sequel, guys. Sometimes a movie can stand on its own 2 feet. This one cannot, because I've seen better movies. Heat is better than this. Shoot 'em Up is better than this. Even Four Brothers is better than this. The film made $37 million in the U.S. and Canada and 28.7 in other territories, for a grand total of $66 million, and the budget was 35 to 60. Where was the money? What did it go to Mark Wahlberg's pocket? Because I don't remember seeing a bunch of. There was some CG blood in it, but it wasn't enough to get a $65 million budget. The money was not on the screen. And this is the consensus from Rotten Tomatoes: 23%. It deserves lower than that. Mile 22 lets the bullets fly and not much else. There is no plot. It's just very nonsensical. In a thrill deficient action thriller whose title proves sadly fitting for a film that feels close to a marathon endurance test. Hell yeah. I was so bored by the half hour mark. I was like, yeah, just end movie. You're not gonna be any better than Extraction. And by the way, this was not a Netflix movie. This was in theaters. Uh, Extraction was a Netflix original movie that was actually better because I cared about what was going on here. It's a very angry movie, and I'm like, you can have anger be in a movie, but not everybody should be an angry tyrant that just wants to shoot everything. If Peter Berg feels like a less like successful Michael Bay for some reason. It's like he sees what Michael Bay does with all of his explosions and his exploitation, and he does it the same way, but just more generic and more forgettable. And he shakes the camera way more than Bay does. And also the movie just it's non eventful. When it was over, I didn't was like that's it. And Uwe should have been the lead. I know he mostly speaks Indonesian, but it's fine. He can speak English. He's fine. He was much better in Beyond Skyline. That movie I cared about him and Frank Grillo and the girl, and there's way more action, and it's not boring, and it's not as generic as this. And he can fight with him while being handcuffed. Wahlberg is just an angry guy shooting people, and he talks like this. Even when he yells, his the happening voice comes out, and I'm like, I just don't buy him in this role. I don't. Jeremy Renner would have been better here, but he was doing Endgame, so I don't blame him. But it's very forgettable. People were audience scores were way too kind on it. They gave it an average grade of B minus. It deserves a D minus. It's very forgettable. If you haven't seen it, go watch a better movie. Go watch Peppermint. As much as people say that's generic, Jennifer Garner kicks more ass in this movie, and she's not as angry as Mark Wahlberg. She's not just shooting everybody in sight. She actually has a arc. Her family gets killed. She goes out for revenge. There you go. There's your plot. Here it's like we're angry and we're gonna shoot everything. Blah! And I'm like, after all the violence that's happened last year and this year, an angry movie, I can't go through that. I have to have a likable character. Would it kill somebody in this movie to smile? Why does everybody have to be so damn serious? And who wrote this movie? I gotta look him up because Berg, I don't think wrote the movie. He was just directing it, and it's awful. This movie's awful. I don't know what they were thinking. A 6.1 on IMDb. There's actually movies from the 80s that got a lower rating than this. It was written by Graham Rowland and Leah Carpenter. Let me see who these people are. Because it's terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan TV show Fringe. Yeah, this guy's mostly done a lot of television. What translated in a 30-minute or 45-minute TV episode doesn't work here in a feature film. Prison Break, Lost. Yeah, this is a TV writer. It's not the same thing. And Leah Carpenter, no relation to John Carpenter. Uh, and this is the only thing she wrote, and it shows. Saying a bunch of f bombs and being angry is not a good script, guys. You got to give me more. This is just a substanceless movie, and it's forgettable. Don't see this movie. Mile 22 can go miles and miles away from me. It sucks. This movie, we can move on. And also, Happy Easter to those who celebrate it. But anyway, that's my rant on Mile 22. It's not good. It's awful. It's just a waste of time. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.